Hello again, my dear students. I hope you are doing well and stay safe at home. Today we are going to study a new subject on the grammar book, which is page 54. Look, it's page 54, and the title is Past Times. We have there was, there were, and past time expressions. Okay, let me read this structure for you. We have three forms as usual. We have affirmative, negative, and question form. Okay, on the affirmative form we have this structure: there was plus singular noun, there were plus plural noun. Negative, we should add not to there was and there were. It will be there was not, there were not. The short form is like that: there wasn't, there weren't. And actually it's better to use this short form all of the time. Okay, but today we are going to study only about affirmative. It means positive form. So affirmative and positive form. But for the next videos, I'm going to explain negative and question forms for you as well. Here also we have two examples. There was a small tree in the park and there weren't any noisy cars or buses. It's about negative, but today we are going to talk about affirmative form only. So stay with me. Let's practice with some examples. Dear students, let's work with this example. Let's practice with this example. How? If somebody asks me where is the pencil, okay, I'm going to say in this way: there is a pencil or on the table, or if I want to tell somebody that there's a pencil on the table, I use there is. Why? Because it's present time. It's the time that I speak. Right now the pencil is on the table and I speak right now, so it will be present time. There is a pencil on the table. I used there is because there is, you can use it with the singular noun, so I say a pencil. If you see in the picture, there's only a pencil on the table, so I said there is a pencil on the table. There's only a pencil, or there's a pencil on the table. When? Right now, because it's present time. And when I say a pencil, this it's article with the singular things, you can use it. Okay, there is plus singular nouns. Okay, but what about اگر بۆ نمونە ئەمڕۆ تێپەڕی باشە گریمان بۆی بە کوردی ئەمەت پێڵم بۆی باش تێ بگەی ئەمڕۆ تێئەپەڕێ من سبەینێم باشە سبەینێ واتە ڕۆژی بەیانیم باسی ئەم قەڵەمە ئەکەمەوە ئەڵەم دوێنێ وابوو ناڵم ئێستا باشە ئەڵەم دوێنێ. Oh, do you remember there was a pencil on the table yesterday? Do you remember class 3? Do you remember there was a pencil? Okay, there was a pencil on the table yesterday. I used yesterday as a time expression and I changed there is to there was. There is, it means right now there is, but there was, it means there was there. So Basha wata tepari bani basi am qalam akamo. I'm gonna say there was a pencil on the table yesterday. Okay, or it's optional. You if you don't like to choose or to use the time expression, you can remove it. You can say there was a pencil on the table. Okay, don't mention about time expression. There was a pencil on the table. So now let's practice with another example. Here we have a flower with a vase. How can I say in present time? I should say there is a flower in the vase. There is, okay, there is, because it's present time. How many flowers? Only a flower. So I'm gonna say in this way: there is a flower in the vase. Okay, está right now. It's present time. Basha, okay. Well, I'm Griman. Chan rojek tia pari. Basha, mangek tia pari. Nchon basi am gulab kamo ulam. Wow, gulag lana guldana kadabu. You have to change there is to there was. So it will be there was a flower, or there was a red flower in the vase. There was. So there is changed to there was. In the past form, you have to say there was. Why we said there was, we didn't say there were, because if you pay attention, there's only one flower. So I'm going to say there was a flower in the vase. There was a flower in the vase. So there is changed to there was. So dear students, it's time to practice on the board. Okay, we practiced with the examples, so now let's take a look to the board. As I told you, it's about grammar subject, so on the grammar book, page 54. the is past times. That means we are going to talk about past times. واتكاتك شتك لرابردوها. رويداوا ياخذ شتك لشو نقول لرابردوها. نكاتكي بشترا. كم إسباسي ليه ودكين. So today we are going to talk about only affirmative form. Okay? I'm going to teach you step by step because somehow it's not very easy. But today we are going to talk about only affirmative form. It means that negative form and question form for the next videos. Okay? They will be for next videos. As I told you, in the present time we have there is and there are. There is and there are in present time. But what about past time? There is will change to there was, and there are will change to there were. Okay, so هذا there كم خويك لما تيجي وراه if it will be was is it's verb to be in the present time, but was is verb to be in the past time. بهمان شيوا are is verb to be in the present and where it will be in the past time. Here I explain there was and there was with these two examples. First we will talk about there was. Here we have a tree, okay? And there is, you see I used there is because right now I'm going to explain this example for you, okay? There's a tree and there's a ball next to this tree. But time I wrote under the tree, I wrote last Friday. Wataheni Raberdu, last Friday. If you remember, I told you, okay? Days of the week, when you write down the name of the days of the week, you have to write down the first letter in the capital way. Okay? So, we have a tree and there's a ball next to that tree. How can I talk about that in the past? Okay? I mean that last Friday, there was a ball next to the tree. Last Friday, there was a ball. I used there was. Why? Because it's about last Friday. Last Friday, something like that happened. So, there was a ball. Okay? I draw a circle around this a ball. Why? Because we have this article. A is an article. Okay? You can use it with the singular noun. It means don't think that they are only one. A ball. It means one ball. If you look at the picture, there's only a ball. Can you see another ball? No. Only one ball. So, there was a ball next to the tree. Where is it? It's next to the tree. So there was a ball next to the tree. When? Last Friday. So last Friday, there was a ball next to the tree. Last Friday, there was a ball next to the tree. The second example, we have a box, the thing that you like. And in this box, there's only one candy, or there's a candy. Okay, it's a candy. And I wrote yesterday. It means duen, yesterday. Yesterday, there was a candy in the box. There's only a box, okay? And there's only a candy. If you see, if you look. So how can I talk about this candy? But when? In past time, it means yesterday. So yesterday, there was a candy in the box. Yesterday, there was a candy in the box. A candy, because you have only a candy, it's singular. Because you should use there was with the singular nouns. Okay? So there was plus singular noun. A candy is a singular noun. And there was, okay? It's past times. You can use it with the with those things that happened in the past time. So because we have yesterday, so we should there was. Why there was? We didn't say there were because it's singular noun. Okay? We have a candy. Look at the picture. Now let's practice about their way. So right now, let's practice with this example about their way. Present time for their way is there are. So if I talk about the pencils, okay, for right now, I'm going to say in this way. I'll say there are some pencils on the table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can see the number, you can use it with number. There are 5 pencils on the table. There are, because it's present time. Okay, I used there are. There are, how many pencils? There are 5, so there are 5 pencils. If you see, you have to use there are with plural nouns. So that's why I said pencils instead of saying pencil. Pencils, okay? Pencil is singular, pencils it will be plural. So there are 5 pencils on the table. Or you can remove the number, you can bring some. You have to say there are some pencils on the table. It's in the present time. What about past time? Okay, اگر گریما به همان شیوه example اکی تر چند روز اکتیه پر یاخد سبینه یاخد هفته ده هاتو من بباسی ام قلمانه بکموا. I'm going to say in this way. There are will be there were. So it's verb to be in the present time, but where it's verb to be for the plural things in the past time. So I'm going to say in this way. There were some pencils on the table. Do you remember? Okay, class 3, do you remember that day? Wow, do you remember last week? There were some pencils on the table, or there were 5 pencils on the table. Some pencils, 5 pencils. You can use the number of that thing, or you can use some as well. Okay? Honey, again, let's practice with flower and vase example. If you remember, for there was, we said there was a flower in the vase because at that time, actually, there was only one flower in the vase. But now, okay, if you see the number, okay, it's not only one flower, we have 3 flowers. So at this time, in present time, how can I talk about these flowers? I'm going to say in this way. There are, right now, look, there are 3 flowers in the vase. Or you can use some instead of the number. You can avoid the number and use some instead. You can say there are 3 flowers in the vase, or there are some flowers in the vase. 3 flowers, some flowers. Okay? It's optional which one do you like to use. 3 flowers or some flowers. But what about past time? اگر اما چند روزك چند هفتيكي بسراتي برببه باشا من يمو class ألم تيك. Oh, class 3. Do you remember that day? Okay? Do you remember that day? There were 3 flowers in the vase, or there were some flowers in the vase. There were instead of there are. There are for present, there were will be for past time, but which noun? With which noun? With plural nouns. If you look, we have 3 flowers. So 3 flowers, it means plural. They are plural. So you can say there were 3 flowers in the vase, or there were some flower in the vase. Now stay with me to practice on the bird. Okay, now we will talk about there were. Okay, there were. If you look at the picture, I changed the pictures. I changed both pictures. Okay, right now, if you count the balls, let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many balls? 5 balls. There are, in present time, I'm going to say it this way. Oh, look, there are 5 balls next to the tree. But I wrote last Friday, so I should talk about these balls in past time. Okay, in past time. How can I talk about these balls? I'm going to say in this way. There were. Okay, so was changed to were. Why? Because the number of the balls also changed from 1 ball to 5 balls. So I'm going to change was to were. So it will be there were how many balls? We count them. Okay, there were 5 balls. You see, balls instead of saying ball. I added s. I changed it to plural noun. It will be balls. So there were 5 balls where next to the tree. There were 5 balls next to the tree. Ball will be balls. Why? Because we have more than 1 ball. Okay, and there was will change to there were. Why? Because we have more than 1 ball. So with the plural nouns, you have to use there were when in the past times. Okay. Second example. Also, we have a box, but at this time there's not only 1 candy in this box. Okay, we have a box with some candies. So there were some candies in the box. There were why? Because we have more than 1 candy. Some instead of the number. If we count the candies 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So instead of saying 8, there were 8 candies. I wrote some. That means 100. Okay. there were some cans in the box. Look at this knot. It's like a knot. Pay attention, please. Candy, it ends with Y. It's a noun, actually. It ends with Y. If you remember, when we're at school, I told you that, okay? I told you clearly that if we change a noun from singular to plural, we should add S or ES at the end of that noun or of that word, okay? So, but those words which they end with Y, if we have consonant before Y, we should change Y to I. Look, I changed Y to I. Then you have to add ES. So it will be candies. It's a plural form of candy. So there were some cans in the box. Okay? Why? We changed to I. Why? Because we have D. D is a consonant letter. So then we should add ES to change it to plural noun. Okay? It's about there were in the past time. Okay? So, dear students, let's start with this question. Okay? Let us see if we get the lesson, the subject very well or not. Here the question says, use there was and there were to fill these spaces. We have two sentences. Actually, let me tell you that there was and there were all the time they comes at the beginning of the sentence. Okay? So, you have to use there was and there were in these two spaces. How? Let us guess. First, 3 markers on the board. Space, 3 markers on the board. Which one do you think? There was or there were? I say there was. Am I right? Am I right? Are you agree with me? No, I'm wrong. Why? Because we have number 3. So, we have plural number. Okay? And also we have plural noun markers. You see this S? It's plural noun. Plural number with plural noun. So, which one we should choose? Of course, there were. Because we should use there were with the plural noun. So, first one, we should write down there were. Okay? Number 2, a girl in the garden. Because only we have this one, I know that you know, but how? You should explain why we should use there was instead of using there were. Because we have a. You see, a is an article with the singular nouns. We have a girl in the garden. A girl in the garden. So a girl is a singular noun. So with the singular nouns you have to use there was. So it will be there was. So there was a girl in the garden. There were 3 markers on the board. Okay, that's it for today. Just we talked about affirmative form. We didn't study about question or negative form. It was only affirmative form. For the next videos, we are going to study these forms as well. Let me mention about your homework for next time. On page 81 on the workbook, pay attention, it's not on the grammar book, okay? On the workbook, page 81, we have these 2 exercises, but only the first one will be your homework. Why? Because we didn't study about negative form, okay? So that's why I'm not going to give you this exercise. Only the first exercise, which it says, write there was or there were. It means you have to fill these spaces, these blanks with putting there was or there were. And that's all. Okay? قولي من بقى ما جبشتك بدم ايوه اتوانن كاتيكا هوموركا كانتا نكن وێنەی هۆمۆرکەکانتان بگرن لە پێیجی فەرمی مارگرێت لە فەیسبوک ئەتوانی بنێرن بۆوێ یاخود خۆتان لە کۆمنت ئۆکەی لە کۆمنتی ئەو ڤیدیۆیی کە من شێرم کردو بۆ ئەم بابەتە ئێوە ئەتوان لە کۆمنت دای بنێن من لەوێ بۆتان چێک ئەەکەم ئۆکەی و بە هەمان شێوە ئاگادار ئەبم لەوانەی چی قوتابیەک کە زۆر بەباشی ئاگای لە ڤیدیۆکان و هۆمۆرکەکانی زۆر بەجوانی و بە چاکی جێبەجێ ئەکا خۆشتان نەزانن هەموو پراکتسکردنێک هەموو هۆمۆرکردنێک گیفتی خۆی لەسەرە ئەوانە هەمووی لای خۆم ئەنووسم و لە قوتابخانە ئینشاءالله کە یەکترمان بینیەوە ئەو کاتە ئەو خوێندکارانە خەڵاتەکەم. And that's all for today.
There was. There were. There was a book on the table. There were books on the table. There was a dog at the park. There were dogs at the park. There was. There were. There was. There was a sandwich on the plate. There were. There were books on the table. There was. There was a cat on the chair. There was. There was a girl in the library. There were. There were butterflies in the jar. There were. There were apples in the basket. There was. There were. There were dogs at the park. There was a key on the nightstand. There were people at the gym. Good job!